All right, Blue-White Spirits. Got some solid reprints for this archetype in Jumpstart. Rattlechains here has Flying and Flash. When it enters the battlefield, target spirit you control gains hexproof till end of turn. And then you get to cast all other spirits you have as though they had Flash. We've got some Nebelgast Heralds here. Flying, Flash, 2-1. When Nebelgast Herald or another spirit enters the battlefield that you control, tap target creature an opponent controls. And then we've got some new ones from M21 here as well. We've got Lofty Denial, which is a fantastic counterspell. Counter target spell unless the controller pays 1. If you control a creature with flying, instead counter it unless they pay 4. And then we've got Shacklegeist out of M21. Can only block creatures with flying. Tap to untap spirits you control. Tap target creature you don't control. Spirit synergies that we have also are Supreme Phantom here to give other spirits you control +1/+1. We have Empyrean Eagle here to give all flying creatures +1/+1. And then we've got some stuff like Brazen Borrower here, is just like a good flying threat that's also a scotch of interaction for us. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games here with this and see how it goes. Yeah, I've got some Kiras in the sideboard as well for removal matchups. Really, really wish we would have gotten Selfless Spirit in Jumpstart. Selfless Spirit to help us battle against Shatter the Skies would be nice, but unfortunately do not have access to that. I'm not actually sure Kira is that useful, in large part because a lot of things are sweeper based. Yeah, getting Spellqueller and Mausoleum Wanderer will be big. I don't know. I'm a little, like, based on what Pioneer is today, Pioneer Masters gives me a little bit of a pause on its coming to Arena. Like, is Pioneer Masters just gonna turn this format into a Heliod combo inverter, like pile of nonsense? Like, yeah, Pioneer, like, it's really, as someone who, like, is explicitly not really playing Pioneer right now, like, turning this format into that doesn't sound stellar. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of Grazers on 1 in this format. A lot of Grazers on 1. Ramp is likely the best thing you can be doing in this format, just like most Magic formats in 2020. Their ramp spell blocks are threats. Yep. I mean, deck dumps don't really tell you anything about the diversity of the format. Elvish, whatever. Yeah, if we get to Fade Ugin for a little bit, we could be okay here. Yeah, a lot of combo and ramp right now in every format for sure, Bob. For sure. We played Winota in Pioneer. We've played Winota in Modern. Wild cards is the only way. That bad control player. Either that and drawing limited. I think they tapped their land wrong by mistake here, and then they played a land after floating the mana, which means they can't undo their mana float here. So I think we might just see our opponent just like spew their mana for the turn. Because they floated, played a land, and now can't undo. Oh, they have a Voracious Hydra. Okay. That makes sense. I'm not thinking about things like that right now. BSQ. It's actually not bad. I think we're keeping that. Well, so they have two things with reach, right, chat? Alright, so they're down to 4. They get to escape Uro and Hydra fight something this turn, go to 7. So what is even good against Ugin Ulamog? Killing them before they get to it. So just go faster, basically, is the answer. You don't really beat Ulamog Ugin by going over the top. Yeah, I expect things like Gruul and Mono Red to still be very good. Grixis aggro is pretty reasonable. We've played that before. Okay, I mean, they're dead to a spirit off the top here, right? We draw a spirit, we tap the Cavalier, and we kill them. That's close. And we almost had him there. Just like any spirit creature is lethal. Probably an Aether Gust matchup. Are there any combo decks fast enough? Yeah, the Grixis Breach deck we're gonna play after this might be okay. Kira seems great against their Ugin deck. Please explain. Let's try this. Kira can write Ugin's name in the Death Node. Okay. I'm gonna keep the extra threats here. Bottom the Aether Gust. We're on the play. Let's try and run them down. Okay, open to peel a third land. The most new tools to play with. Bant Ramp. Blue-green ramp, Bant Ramp, Sultai Ramp. Thragtusk is probably one of the best cards in the set. Yeah, Storm Herald's probably a good linear deck. I think that one's fine. I'm gonna hold on to the Lofty Denials for now rather than countering their ramp just to get more pressure into play. I'm gonna hold up a counter this turn, slash away to tap a blocker. Do I care about this? I do, because it lets them cast Ulamog sooner. This we just let happen, and we're just gonna tap it down in combat, right? So I can't do anything. Boda, thanks for the 25 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Alright. Our beyond the play be a little disrupted. Working out as expected here. Yes, aside from Mythics, getting cards for this set won't be a problem, T-Hunter. You know, maybe these Gusts. I put Strokes in the sideboard of the last deck we played. I should put some Strokes in the sideboard of this for expecting to play against a lot of ramp. Aether Gust not tagging Ugin is a big deal. Yeah, we have Lofty Denials in the main, but I think I would like 6 ways to counter an Ugin post board. And this is the tough one, right? Like, they're on the play and they have a Boreal Grazer. A Boreal Grazer not only gives them twice as many lands as me here to start, but it also means that my pressure is that much worse. It's a good question. Does Cardboard Live have the new cards? I don't have a preview for Cardboard Live. Anybody know, does Cardboard Live have the new stuff yet or no? Nope. Sounds about right. Greg MC, thanks for 13 months. Cardboard Live's usually pretty quick. I'd be surprised if they don't have it added shortly. Another flash threat here is a great draw. Only one card in their bin. So the 5th land here is great. It means I can Hanged Executioner, diddle both these Grazers, smack them for 5, and still hold Lofty Denial up. Alright, they have no cards in hand and only 3 cards in the bin. Our archetype's probably very reasonable. Doesn't Rattle make all threats spiritualized? Yes, it does, but I do not have Rattlechains in play. I have Nebelgast Herald in play. Don't Ugin me, bro. Don't do it. Have a heart. God bless us, everyone. Let's get some strokes in our sideboard, huh? As exemplified there, having a counterspell for Ugin is very, very important. It's basically the difference between winning and losing, so I think I want to get at least 2 more ways to counter that in our board here. Yeah, I mean, it's got a plan against the ramp matchups at least, huh? If you're not familiar with what a new card that we're playing does, and they're not on Cardboard Live, Stream Decker has all of the new cards in our decks available. I'm keeping that up to date as we make changes, as always. Metafuse, thanks for 17 months. Welcome back. Well, if you get 2 game wins in the thing, you get 2 ICRs, I believe, that are rares or mythic, so most people are playing because you get extra prizes. And I really feel like the Jumpstart acquisition and like people being encouraged to play really kind of highlights one of the fundamental problems with how Arena's been managed. A big issue with a lot of the decisions Wizards has made regarding Arena is they keep pushing players trying to tell people how they're supposed to play Magic. And I really feel like that fails to understand one of the things that really makes Magic a great game, which is that Magic's great because there's so many different ways to play, and Wizards really needs to get that they should just make the cards and have game modes and let people pick the game modes they want. Don't make people feel like they're forced to engage with formats they don't have an interest in engaging with. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Wee McGee. I'm going to take a couple days off to focus on Historic with JMP coming out, but we'll be back to doing a mix of Arena and Runeterra next week. Sure, another ramp deck. It's all ramp decks all the way down, chat. Always has been. What can they play for 4 mana that I care about? I think the answer is nothing. I think I'm just doing this. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Okay, so we have them dead in the air next turn. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sorry, 10, 7, 10. They're dead. To get our Disdainful Strokes in here right away. Dungeon Geists a little slow. Probably want a couple Aether Gusts here still too, right? Probably like a 2-2 split. Trim a couple of Borrowers. It's a card like Wilderness Reclamation is substantially more offensive than traditional ramp, equally frustrating or not offensive. I think it's obnoxious in different ways, Bib. I mean, like, also for the record, I don't think ramp in general is an inherently bad thing or mechanic. It's just so weird to me that we went from rampant growth is too powerful to reprint to arboreal grazers and uros and nissas. Like, part of the reason why the ramp from 2019 2020 is so pushed is because they're not just ramp spells, right? Like, they're pieces of ramp that also do other things. Like, they block against aggro, or they gain you life, or they're payoffs. Like, rampant growth is good, but it's a brick on turn 10, right? Yeah, there's no wrong half problem. There used to be a real drawback to putting a bunch of Farseeks and rampant growths in your deck, and that drawback basically doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't exist with the design of ramp cards that we've had in the last year and a half. It's not 2/3 of a year, Code Monkey. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I just get rid of this so they don't create an army of things to beat me down. It's a great explanation. Thanks, Gross. I try. The devil's in the details, like we often say, right? Like, it's pretty, like, one of the reasons why Magic tends to be a good game when, you know, formats are well balanced is because there aren't really cut and dry answers to things. The devil's always in the details. It's very easy to say ramp is bad or 3-mana planeswalkers are bad, when in reality it's like, well, a lot of ramp is fine and a lot of 3-mana planeswalkers are fine, but there's like subsets of these things that meet specific conditions that really aren't fine. I think if someone asked me to concisely summarize and fix Magic in a sentence or two, I honestly think it's as simple as we need less Uros and more Izzet Charms would be the design philosophy I would like to see applied to Magic. More cards that have a lot of choices in them and aren't inherently overpowered, but are good because they offer a lot of choices. Yeah, the RTR charms were a fantastic set. I think I've registered every RTR charm in Constructed at some point or another. Hey, Paula, thank you for the 28 months and all the absurd support you've given here over the years. I appreciate it. So I have lethal next turn with this, right? Do I try and counter this? I guess if I counter this and they play an untapped land, Blast Zone can kill this and then I don't have a counter spell. Yeah, I've definitely registered Orzhov Charm. Orzhov Charm was a card Death Shadow played for a little bit. Yeah, cards like Culligan's Command and Atarka's Command. Heck, I've even registered Ojutai's Command and Slumgar's Command. Like, the command cycle was also fantastic. More sweet modal cards, less cards that do everything. What'd you do with Gruul Charm? Gruul Charm had a falter on it, right? If I recall. Someone pull up the text of Gruul Charm. Gruul Charm made things not block, right? If I recall correctly. Yeah, Gruul Charm had falter on it. You occasionally killed things with flying, you sometimes took your stuff back, but you also faltered people. Why do I care about this? Do I care about this? They have 6 mana here. I guess I could have 8 if they didn't play a land. I don't remember if they've played a land, and this game doesn't have a game log, so I can't check if they've played a land. If they untap Blast Zone, they're still dead. This is 3. This doesn't even matter. Just because I can. Okay. Our flashy deck's probably okay against ramp. That's nice. That's nice. Killing some breeding pools, chat. Killing some breeding pools. Hey, look, a Jumpstart card. Gotta open these non-Jumpstart packs to get Jumpstart cards.
If I don't have a plan, I'll just make one up.
Yeah, I mean, like, Teferi probably makes our deck very sad. This is probably a decent choice for the Oglandi Open this weekend. You can tell M21 wasn't a big hit in Hoaglandia because Jeff is still opening M21 rares that aren't duplicate lands. Yep. That is accurate. So just be clear, because I've had people asking questions about this. The Open on Saturday, Jumpstart cards are legal. Nexus and Burning Tree Emissary are banned. And Teferi and Reclamation are banned on top of the normal historic list. So the event this Saturday is everything that's normally in historic. Get rid of Teferi Time Raveler. Get rid of Wilderness Reclamation. So all of the changes that happened today, plus get rid of Teferi, get rid of Reclamation. That is what folks voted for in the sub-survey. If you're interested in playing, we have about 70 people signed up last I checked. Prizes will scale based on attendance. Everybody who gets at least 5 match wins in the Open on Saturday will get some cool stuffing store credit. They're sponsoring the event. Hey, look! More breeding pools. At least the breeding pool matchup seems to be good for us so far. Would Fabled Passage be good? Well, the TLDR is I'm not playing Fabled Passage, which means I don't think it's very good. I think Temples are better than Fabled Passage in our deck that's only 2 colors and doesn't have many 1-drops. Some kind of control deck on the other side? Maybe they're playing a Reclamation deck? Your explanations make too much sense. I completely understand what you're saying. It is, and it will in fact be a Magic the Gathering tournament. I'm gonna play this now before they put an untapped blue land into play. Okay, some type of Sultai mid-ranger control brew, perhaps. It's a nice draw because it lets us lofty denial something, plus have Nebelgast Herald. I think main deck Dispute's probably very good in this format, just like it's very good in every Magic format. I assume something's gonna die here. Really? Nothing. Alright, we take those. That card's a tough one for spirits. We have Nebelgast Herald here at least, but not really looking forward to dealing with Shark Typhoons here. Depends on the mythics. As always, submit decks via the Formor game. So, Spirit off the top is lethal. Opponent's seen enough. I just clicked submit. I kind of like most of what we're doing here. Maybe Kira's okay. I don't know. I kind of expect them to have sweepers post-board. Maybe I'm expecting them to have sweepers. Disdainful Stroke is good. They probably don't have that many threats. I'm just going to bring in Stroke for Dungeon Geists for now. I don't know. I'm not convinced that Kira's actually playable. A lot of what beats you in archetypes like this is sweepers. Disenchant for Typhoon. If they're casting Typhoon for 6 mana, we're either winning the game or losing the game, and Disenchant's not going to change it. Thanks for the 15 months, Gargoyle. I appreciate the tier 2. It's good to be able to play Historic and not have the format be lame ducked. And do a few Historic decks today, a few tomorrow, open on Saturday. Yeah, one for one removal is really not particularly good. Did I buy the unstable lands? Are those these? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what unstable lands look like. Oh, those ones. Yeah, those look nice. I don't know. I'm probably not going to spend any extra money on cosmetics. Think these look plenty fine. So this is gonna 2-for-1 these, and then we're probably dead here. So go ahead and concede. Mulligan Flow and got double discard spelled. I don't think Disenchant's good enough for Ratchet Bomb. There's no, we don't know how many of those they necessarily have either. Sure. Needs a white source, but needs to draw a 3rd land in general. If we only draw islands, like, we still get to cast Borrowers, and has 2 guaranteed plays, seems keepable. Just like we drew it up. Opponent's turn to mulligan to 5, yep. This is gonna get disputed, but that's fine. My buddy Matt will be casting with me for one more time. I think he said this is going to be his last one, but he'll be with me on Saturday. I also believe we've finagled a way to do time-shifted feature matches for Saturday, which is exciting. For people that aren't familiar with what that means for Magic coverage, it means that every round we'll be able to cover 2 complete matches, start to finish, instead of just covering the first match and then jumping halfway into the next one. It involved hiring a 4th person and doing some screwery with remote connections and stuff, but we'll make the coverage a bit better for sure. I think I'm denying this. Matt just hasn't been super involved in Magic recently. He's mostly been doing them as a favor to me. Well, Denial's a good pickup. Slow and steady here. I don't even care about that. Not sure that I do. Because, like, this is a 4-2, because this pumps all flying creatures. If they give me something worth lofty denialing, like that, I'll bounce this to get rid of it, to use my other mana. Don't have anything else to do here. They paused there. I wonder if they have another dispute. A third dispute. It's a good pickup. Hopefully they draw like a piece of sorcery speed removal here would be great. Bear Bronson, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday wherever you're at. Alright, Spirits so far. Easy deck of the day contender. Rattling some chains. I don't know, Mikey. I'm interested to see if Ramp's actually overbearing in this format, right? Like, I think Growl's still very good, even with Burning Tree Emissary banned. The Spirits deck seems fine against the Breeding Pool decks we've played against. Freezer's probably fine. Seems real good. Needs a couple of lands, but don't they all? The wild card count on this one isn't too bad from Jumpstart stuff. It's 4 rares and some uncommons. There's glass spinners in the sideboard, but I'm not actually convinced that they're good, so I don't think I'd recommend crafting them if you're unsure. We'll see if Nebelgast Herald and Dungeon Geists here get a chance to stop our Gruul opponent from beating us up. It's very possible, but we want more Dungeon Geists for this matchup. It hasn't been playing Magic. What's his poison of choice? There aren't any sports right now, and bars are closed. There must be a different game. I believe Matt's been playing Valorant, WoW, Diablo 3, and Runeterra. Been playing a few different things. One card that actually might be really good in our deck that, what's the word I'm searching for? That we're not currently playing is Valorous Stance. Was printed in Jumpstart. I think that card's super playable. I don't think there's any decks on the website that strictly need JMP cards in them, Torbran. So we'll keep this one tapped forever, and we'll tap this one for this turn. No box. Is that lethal? This is 7, 10, 13. Solid showing here for Nebelgast Herald. Really showing how nice and linear and aggressive our deck can be. Turn 5 kill. We're playing around with no blocks. Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut these and put 2 more Dungeon Geists in the sideboard. This card seems real good here. I'm gonna trim Brazen Borrower in this matchup, I think. Shacklegeist is only okay. Oh, you know what? Lofty Denial's not very good, right? Maybe I want to get rid of all of these altogether and keep a couple of Borrowers in. Just keep Baffling End and Aether Gust as my 2-drop, my 2-mana interaction along with this. And then, like, if we swap these to Dungeon Geists, we'll turn these into this. We were on the play that game too, though, right? So, like, opponents' draw was okay, but we were on the play, which definitely helps. I think if they attack with the 1/1 here, I'm going to trade with Spectral Sailor. Yeah, linear decks are very good in Magic. Having a cohesive plan that has... Having a cohesive plan that also has a touch of interaction tends to be very good. I don't really think Banishing Light is worth playing. It's a pretty low quality card. Stop it! Bad opponent. Maybe I'm supposed to just Brazen Borrower there. This adds pressure to the table, though, which is nice. Really hoping to run a couple of lands off here in a row. Wow, they didn't attack. I'm not sure I was blocking if they attacked, so, like, the no attacks there is kind of absurd for us. Does this feel like a stomp? Feels like a stomp. Collision. Okay. Was worse for us than Stomp. Land's a good pickup there, even if it's not a white source. Instant speed Dungeon Geist is good. Let's reset their Belt Collector here. That's pretty good. I mean, their creatures are usually big enough to not die to Flame Sweep, so seems fine. This card was a house in Standard. Anybody remember this one? Played a lot of Dungeon Geists when it was Standard legal. Okay. About busted. Seems competitive. I think this is one of the few tribal decks out of... One of the few tribal decks that's enabled out of Jumpstart that doesn't just cry when your opponent casts an Ugin, which is really nice. Not having a deck that just rolls over there is good. Things like Goblins and Elves are going to have a real hard time against the ramp decks, I think. This deck's pretty wildcard friendly. There's no mythics in it, right? Brazen Borrower is a mythic, but you should have those anyways. Yeah, Borrower's the only mythic. What about humans and knights? Knights might be okay. Might be able to get under it. Humans is probably a little too slow. Asanda's stellar. Hey, Full Effect. Thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Confirmed Kesis. Need to counter a Teferi this turn, right? It's not optional. You can't craft the lands. Wait, really? Can I kill them before this is relevant? Can I kill this before this is relevant? Can I kill them before this is relevant? I think so. I think so too. I think I let this happen. I just play Rattlechains this turn.
Let me aid your research.
The thriving. Oh, they're talking about basics. The thriving lands are craftable. Okay. Still kind of silly, but makes more sense, I suppose. Ooh. That solves Uro problems. Yeah, kill them. That's how magic works. Kill them faster. I mean, graveyard, like, their deck has a ton of access to interact on them. You can exile their graveyard. You can exile their graveyard. You can kill their Kisis or their Diligent Excavators. You can just kill them. Their deck's actually incredibly easy to interact with. Chichus, thank you for the very generous tip. I appreciate that. Let me load my dashboard here real quick.
Seek and find.
Elf Ball and Historic. Sounds good. Basics being the incentive to play in the event is a good incentive to have. No, that was for tomorrow. Seven, 10, 13, right? They're dead? Guy Fury Ball, thanks for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Turns out ignoring the Tameo was very correct. Yay! Flying! Got him. Ha! Got him! Dungeon Geist is not very useful. Hanged Executioner is slow. Aether Gust interacts with a bunch of their stuff. Dispute against the Teferi deck sounds good. Cooldown Max, thanks for the resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. When did that happen? My dashboard doesn't have a resub message. Guy Fury Ball, oh, there it is. Sorry about that. Thanks for the year and a half. Did I grab Full Effect? Full Effect was 14 months. Probably missing some in there. Stroke is bad for their board wipe, right? Yeah, I don't think they have enough. I think Teferi blanked Stroke. And I think I'd rather have cards that counter their cheaper stuff. I think you just submitted one Aether Gust, correct? If you're going to be playing in the Hoaglandia Open this weekend, please take a second between now and Saturday to make sure you understand how to share your Magic Arena game screen to Discord. It is a requirement if you are playing in the tournament that you be able to share your screen upon request so we can do coverage. If you're uncertain how to do that, instructions are on the event page. There's also people such as myself and my wife that would be happy to help you in the subscribers Discord server figure that out. Please try and figure it out before Saturday. It's also good to make sure your internet connection and computer hardware are capable of doing that. Oh, do we have mobile raid invites for Pokemon Go now? That's great. My wife and I can only do 3-star raids together, so being able to invite some people to do 5 stars sounds fantastic. Chromatic Sphere? That's an interesting one. Triggers Excavator and helps fix the mana in their deck.
Dad, Mom says I'm a pretty princess. Agree or disagree?
I think you're a pretty princess. I love you, baby girl. You being good for Mom today?
Jacob decided that I could also be a princess and you could be the dragon.
Oh, okay.
But Declan's still a witch and he's still a knight.
Hello.
Because every princess story needs a dragon, he said. Did I hear you say that they rolled out the feature for raid invites?
They did. Someone in chat said that works now.
Baby attack! Baby attack!
Who's cute? Are you pretty? Oh, it's tough work trying to learn to hold your head up, huh? I think we're again just letting Tamio happen and then hoping to get pressure down and then tempo whatever she gets back.
I would like to ask about any lunar.
Oh, we need to Haley
I think you will find.
We do need
a Haley mode.
That's double Kisses.
Which one are you gonna replace for her?
I don't know. When your mommy makes one, I'll figure it out.
Should we do that?
Should you go make an emote for Haley?
I'll do it in
She
between
does. She
rounds.
does have my hair. You're not wrong. Don't worry, you'll grow out of that, baby girl.
She has like a business in the front, party in the back going on because she has a lot of hair in the back.
Oh.
All our kids were basically bald when they were born. And then they got wild curls. Are you gonna have curls, baby girl?
Okay, so now I have to decide: is double counter spell worth holding up next turn, or do I want to get in 2 points of damage? I suppose I can kill Tamio here, huh? Maybe that's worth it. Maybe it's worth not ignoring the Tamio because I can kill her in one combat step. I like play this and like killing Tamio turns off their Mox Amber. I think I'm actually gonna do that. With the second counter spell, I'm gonna kill Tamio this turn, so it's clean when one combat step. And then we can like Lofty Denial their play next turn.
Oh, I'm gonna make a Pokemon Go channel in the server.
Sure.
Tell that person that asked for a friend code.
My wife's gonna make a Pokemon Go channel in the subs Discord server very shortly, since we have remote raiding now, so people can coordinate in there. Look under the other game section, it'll pop up in a moment. When exactly, and you're playing its Kisses combo, do you know that you are dead and should just concede? When they have multiple Mox Opals or Mox Ambers and a bunch of legendaries in their bin, usually. It's generally the line. Oh yeah, they also need excavators in play. They need a lot is the answer usually. If you want to get a feel for how the Kisses deck combos, some of the details are different, but if you look back on my YouTube channel, we played it a bunch when it was more competitive. I don't actually think this archetype is very good. It's super slow and clunky. It does not have a particularly good Gruul matchup in my experience. This does not currently make mana for them. Yeah, we played against it 2 or 3 times today. I think we're going to be playing Grixis Breach after we're done with Spirits, and I think Grixis Breach is much better as far as competitiveness goes. Doing some similar things, but I think its linear game plan is more ideal. Yeah, I actually pulled the Kisses deck off my website at one point. We're trophying my Supreme Phantom. Yeah, that's fine. You're at 1. Now I can Lofty Denial and Scry 2. What are your thoughts on WotC repeatedly naming things after existing keywords? First a format with historic, a set with jumps. I think it's super confusing. I think it's super confusing. Yeah, I think this deck seems super reasonable. If you're looking for a deck choice in historic in general and for the open this weekend, this seems like a very reasonable contender. Nebelgast Herald's a really powerful card. Rattlechains is fantastic. If you haven't played with those cards before, they're very reasonable. Slip it a slip. Thank you for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. See, playing reasonable decks in historic can be fun. It's just weird combos like the first teamer deck that we played have a little bit of a rough sell. Format's a little bit optimized. Can't go too far outside the box, but yeah, it's very similar to the Elusives deck from Runeterra. What did I replace Nexus with in your Arc Field? I think I just threw another Elvish Rejuvenator in. If I recall correctly, it's another piece of 3-mana ramp. Feels Magic the Gathering, man. Haley's pretty great pizza, to be fair. There's a family photos picture channel in the Discord too, where we posted some pictures of the kids and other folks have done the same. Good fun community stuff. Am I okay with this dying to Stomp? Am I okay with this dying to stop? I think the answer is no. What was the teamer combo deck? It was a dual caster mage combo deck. Yeah, and like losing Supreme Phantom, like Goblin Chain Whirler is really good against our deck. Hopefully on the back of these Nebelgast Heralds we can win here. But if they have a lot of removal, it could be a tough sell. Is Jumpstart Pioneer legal? It is not. So cards that are new to Jumpstart are not Pioneer legal. It's legal. It's not modern legal either. They're legal in Legacy, Historic, and Vintage. It's obviously not confusing at all. I mean, if you've paid attention to Magic at all, it's really not confusing, because, like, that's how all Magic supplementary products work. That's so confusingly stupid. It's really not. No Magic supplementary product has ever been legal in Pioneer or Modern. I guess I could see the addition of Historic on Arena possibly adding some confusion for folks because of that. But in general, what it's legal in paper. Modern Horizons is a set that was explicitly designed to impact Modern. It's definitely very different than other things that have been done in the past. I mean, those two things aren't mutually exclusive, Lost Axiom. The idea that the thing that's keeping them from managing some of their formats better is the raw number of formats that they have, I think is some nonsense. Yeah, we're gonna get cleaved no matter how we slice it. So if they cleave on here, this is 10, 14. They cleave on here, this is 10. It just can't be cleaved no matter how it works. Yeah, we're very dead. This matchup's probably super hard. Between Fanatical Firebrand and Goblin Chain Whirler, I would assume this is real bad for us. We have a lot of X1s. We'll bring in Dungeon Geist and Baffling End and Aether Gust, and I'm going to cut 8 of my X1s and hope that that little bit of action can maybe drag us across the finish line. Oh, you know what? I should bring in Disenchant. Disenchant should come in because they're an Annex Embercleave deck. If we get a game 3, I'll do that. The Riot Command only addresses their workplace changes. As far as being hesitant around Tencent goes, my comments about that were born of ignorance, and I shouldn't have made them. If you actually do a little bit of research and understand just how many companies Tencent has money and things tied up in, you basically can't exist in the video game industry and not be making Tencent shareholders money in some way, shape, or form. If I 2-drop here is a fantastic draw, even as much as I want a 4th land. They have money in like Discord and Reddit, Epic Games, almost every game company. I believe they even had a spoiler card for something related to Magic at one point. Like, then there's also the idea that like taking moral stands on what games you play in the first place is probably some hot nonsense, especially as all of us sit here and continue to engage in Magic the Gathering, even though Wizards of the Coast has some incredibly racist and offensive workplace cultures in place. So, like, you know, as someone who's an adult that's capable of admitting when he's wrong, I was wrong to take the position that I took on that. There is no ethical consumption under capitalism. Yeah, our mono red's mix of cheap removal and pressure feels like it's probably one of the more challenging types of matchups for us to try and get through. Meta Magic Missile, thanks for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So the Runaway Steamkin is tapped here under Dungeon Geist, but still gonna get to make mana, which is a little unfortunate. They have another Lava Coil or a Lightning Strike here. Dungeon Geists is going to die. Yeah, the idea that people are never allowed to admit that they were wrong and change is one of the big problems with the culture that we live in today. And, like, there's a lot of people on the right who like to, like, chalk up, like, cancel culture as a thing being a problem with the left and people not letting grow or change from mistakes. But, like, you know, there's currently the Trump administration trying to run Dr. Fauci into the ground based on his ability to change his opinion on things as new facts come to light, right? Thanks for the 2.5 years, DMS. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Mythgard was just sponsored segments, mostly Neilgraph. I think their core game was good, but there's just not a big enough audience to do consistent content for a smaller game like that. Even like my Runeterra segments are less popular than my Magic stuff. And this isn't just a hobby for me, right? Like, this is my full-time job. It's like, need to be willing to make good business decisions. I think we're dead here. This matchup seems pretty hard, and honestly, I'm not really sure there's anything we could do to change that. Yeah, we're super duper. I could gust something to, like, not have these happen, but I'm just too far behind at this point. Settle is too expensive to fit in here. The problem with Settle is I don't think the mana base supports it. Let's double check. I think I'm only on 13. Yes, stupid waiting for server screen. I think I'm only on 13 or 14 white sources. Yeah, I'm only on 13 white. You need, like, probably in the range of 15 to 16 to really cast Settle consistently. Like, I know that game we could have cast it, but on average, that's probably not the norm. Hey, Draco, thanks for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Mono blue spirits are a go. We have exactly 69 players signed up for the Hoaglandia Open right now. Nice. I don't think sleep really fixes our problem. If you go back and watch the game match that we just played and listen to my analysis, the issue is that they have a lot of removal to pick apart your things in addition to having a fast clock. You're not just racing. Like, for example, the Gruul matchup felt very reasonable because the Gruul matchup, what's the word I'm searching for? The Gruul matchup has less removal, so we're able to tempo and just race them efficiently. And that's not a possibility in the mono red matchup because of all their removal. That is correct, Zacalange. All historic cards are all jumpstart cards are now historic legal, with a small list of ones that weren't introduced to Magic Arena. There was like a small handful that weren't included. We can dodge a 4-mana sweeper, we can dodge a ball. Any of the Jumpstart cards make that historic deck better? No. I think Gruul getting nerfed makes that deck better, though. That archetype had a real Gruul problem. And Gruul getting Burning Tree Emissary banned potentially helps make vampires better. Play this out so our board is better against spot removal. It's the part where they settle the wreckage me. I don't want to play against Jeffrey anyways. I want to play a different one. Someone else can play that match. I don't want to play against Jeffrey with my creature deck. If you're not having fun playing Magic, stop playing Magic or play it in a different way. Very, very little desire to play against Jeffrey. At least we don't have to concede to Reclamation anymore, or Nexus of Fate. They banned that for us. I have no idea who that name is. So I'm going to upkeep, tap their Wild Heart here. So this way they can't play a 5-drop this turn. We're gonna again upkeep Diddle the Heart of the Wilds. This taps for 2 now. How much play do you think this card will see? This card seems very good. I think ramp decks are good, so probably plenty of play. Oh, Magic. As is often the case, I would like to remind chat that attempting to be interactive while playing Magic the Gathering is frequently the incorrect decision. Instead, I would recommend being as linear as possible. Am I just dead to this? Are these all elves? They have trample? No, they don't have trample, and they don't have 6 mana. Tank, tank, tank. Play my lethal card. Cessian Moraes, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoglandia. Oh, magic. People were expecting a hoof animation. You must be new here. You must be new here to think that your mythic rare that costs 8 mana and wins the game when it comes into play was gonna have an animation. It's so depressing. It's sad that they won't spend money to make their video game more of a video game. You can understand that. See, you must be new to Crater Hoof math, too. The Crater Hoof math is super easy. They're always dead. Crater Hoof math is super straightforward. They're always dead, chat. If they aren't at, like, triple-digit life totals, they're dead. You can stop counting. Yeah, yeah. You're more than 3 creatures. They're not like, you know, just kill them. I'm gonna go ahead and Baffling End the Rishkar here to cut them off of some mana. Make a deck with Blood Artist, the red-black Aristocrats deck that we are going to play as the last deck today is a Blood Artist deck. So be sure to hang out or check that on YouTube later. And if you want to see that deck list before we get to that point, you can find my deck lists that are waiting to be played later today in the deck queue on my website. Baffling End has got to be better than Glass Cascade. Yeah, I think this card's much better than Glass Cascade. Giving them back a random 3/3 with trample is usually better than whatever you're exiling. Doesn't give trample, right? They have 4 lands. They have 4 lands. I attack with these down to 7. Just this will be lethal. I can tap something, block 2. So we should be okay. Even if they have a land here. They can't create a hoof currently, because that's only the 7th mana. Hey, diddle diddle, the Nebelgast and the fiddle. Plays for Unmoored Ego in the current historic format. No, doesn't seem particularly good. 129 players is the same number of rounds. 129 to 256 is the same number of players. Yeah, everything will go up on YouTube later as always. Am I trading here? Probably. Oh, green cards. Oh, green cards. If I trade here, I don't have any pressure left. Yeah, we needed... This isn't a spirit, unfortunately, so it doesn't trigger this. We need to draw, like, another Nebelgast Herald to win here. If we had drawn second Nebelgast, we might have been okay. I suppose I can draw another Spectral Sailor. I can go Sailor, tap your thing, draw a card, Sailor, tap your thing. Did the auto-tapper just get them? Get auto-tapped. Nailed it. Whoopsie poopsie. Cardboard Live's installing an update. I bet this is for Jumpstart cards. They're so good at their job. Shout out for the Cardboard Live folks. We have pretty quick quick support for things, generally speaking. I'll find out. Find out in a minute. Blue-White Spirits. Yeah, I think I like where we finished up. Definitely felt reasonably competitive against the various ramp decks that we played against. The Elves matchup, we probably should have lost there at the end. Obviously, we could have drawn another Spectral Sailor to have it out there, but Auto Tapper got him and they conceded, so we won't know. The red matchup felt super challenging, and honestly, I'm not really sure if there's anything we could play to fix that. I guess if you really wanted to be narrow, you could play like some Cerulean Drakes in the sideboard. But honestly, I feel like if you want to play this, you should probably just punt the mono red matchup. Explicitly worth noting was that while mono red with like Chain Whirler and Fanatical Firebrand felt really hard, the Gruul matchup felt pretty reasonable. And the big differential there is that the Gruul deck has a lot of big dumb beaters, which means our cards like Nebelgast Herald and Dungeon Geists tend to be much better. Whereas the mono red deck both goes wide and has a lot of cheap removal, which lets them kind of pick us apart while also stopping us, while also racing us down themselves. So, I think I would leave this mostly as like maybe another Baffling End in the sideboard, but the core idea here feels functional. As the format fleshes out, you might want to adjust some of the details around the edges, but as far as like evasive linear decks go with like touches of interaction in the main, felt like we had a good cohesive game plan that was pretty reasonable. All right, up next we have a deck that's not leveraging any jumpstart cards, but I think it's a very good deck in Historic here. I'm going to go ahead and hit a quick ad roll while we get set up. When we get back, we are going to play some Grixis Breach here, which this is Luris, I swear, regardless of what face-down card Magic Arena is currently showing you. So be back in just a few. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.